This guy right here, Andy Khouri, is part of the problem. He is the DC editor of Harleen, American Carnage, Doom Patrol, Eternity Girl, Goddess Mode, Green Arrow, Rebirth, High Level, Omega Men, Suicide Squad. Okay, of those, American Carnage, Eternity Girl, Goddess Mode. Well, Eternity Girl and Goddess Mode aren't very good. But American Carnage is actually racist. I will be reviewing it later. It's shocking. Anyway, he made this post that caught my eye. He says, now make The Dark Knight Returns with Michael Keaton and Michelle Pfeiffer. Just do it. It was part of a larger post. Fair enough. I guess you liked the 1989 film. I like the 1989 film a lot also. I don't know if you could make a Dark Knight Returns, because Batman is very, very physically active, and this guy's got to be, he's got to be in his 60s. She's probably in her 50s. So, I don't think it would. The only way it would work is if he had some kind of mechanical augmented suit, essentially a DC Iron Man. That might work, actually. Mags chimes in. It would be a disgustingly huge hit. I don't think you know what a huge hit looks like. I don't think it would be a huge hit, but it would probably do okay, because a lot of people liked. He's a very well liked guy. Okay, blah blah blah. They chime in. I like this almost as much as I like a live action Batman Beyond with Keaton as Elder Bruce teaching Terry. People chime in. Or how about a mid-budget effort sequel that just shows where these characters are all these years later, like a chill character piece with the film's enduring cult following? I'm sure it would do well. Just a one-off to satisfy the loyal fans. No, because Batman is the world's greatest detective. He's also an action star. He has got to be physically active. He's running around the city. He's jumping off buildings and using his cape as a glider / parachute. Couldn't be just a chill character. I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. All depends who gets a hold of it. Anyway, do the first part of Dark Knight Returns, Batman versus Mutants, Dean Cain is Superman. Okay, everyone's chiming in. That's not what got my attention. This is what got my attention from Perkendorf. Perdikoff, their concentration camps. I guess this guy must be upset about Obama's imprisoning of illegals. That surely must be what he's upset about. That wasn't the part. His name didn't get my attention. Yes, just as long as she's owning his ass constantly throughout the movie, that got my attention. Just as long as she's owning his ass constantly throughout the movie. Why would you say that? I know what he means, and I know what he's going for, and what he means is what we see in Marvel Comics and DC Comics, where they constantly put the men down, and they constantly elevate the women by just non-stop affirmations, blowing smoke up the skirts of the female characters. It's so cringy. Why would you want to... The characters, Batman and the hot chick, why would you want to have her constantly owning him? That is such a weird... Do I dare go to his page to see what he's all about? Oh, the reason I brought that up is because it ties into this. This is Captain Marvel 7. This is only worth $4 if you're going to make fun of it on social media. Oh God, why include a text wall? Nobody cares. The story is literally not interesting enough to read 2 paragraphs. You would really have to be a fan of Captain Marvel or Doctor Strange to want to read this. See, when I first saw this, I was focusing on the silly facial expression. I didn't even notice the hands down there. Notice the hands. But it's a matter of perspective. If you market this as a kid's book and sell it for $1.50 like an alternate comic, then I would cut it a lot of slack. Because it's not a trash fire, but it's not worth $4. And since it's selling in the 20s, most people are spending their money elsewhere. Another thing, decades ago, when you mentioned National Geographic, you knew that photography was going to be some of the best in the world, back before they got woke. Look through their magazines from the 80s. The images were stunning. The same applied to Marvel and DC. Their art used to be known for being of a high caliber. What happened? Take a look at this amazing panel. Set of 3. I really don't know how you managed to make everything sound so patronizing, strange, but forget magic. Condescension is your damn superpower. I'm sorry, Carol. It's hard for me to be without magic. It connects me things in a way it's hard to describe. You probably already fell asleep. Okay, the point is they have this conversation, and in the background, when people want to know about silly billies, think of dogs wearing sunglasses or dogs in hats, that kind of thing. But this is also a pretty good example of a silly billy. Let's zoom in a bit. Alligator. Oh, kick an alligator. Yikes! Looks like the alligator has killed her. Does she have superpowers? I don't think so. I think she's just a low-level human. Maybe slightly better than a human, but you're not going to be fighting an alligator, right? And then she's in the background with the bubbles bubbling up. This is kind of I guess it's supposed to make you think of Star Wars: A New Hope, maybe, where they're chatting away and the bubbles are just bubbling. Okay, but you're gonna have to. Oh, I didn't zoom in on this. Let me zoom in on this image. When I saw this, I immediately thought of, God, I hope he doesn't see this video. Monday and Matt and his butthole mouth. How does this get past an editor? No, that's not good. That shouldn't make it past an editor. It doesn't actually. I mean, the face doesn't even. They don't even look similar. They look like they were drawn by 2 different people. And I mean, backgrounds look okay, but faces is not this artist's strong suit. Neither is his bodies, apparently. Though oddly enough, the guy is drawn okay. It's just the woman who is kind of drawn cattywampus, which is weird because it's the title character. Anyway, how woke is this comic? In the last issue, Doctor Strange and Miss Marvel's consciousness switched bodies. They're trying to cash in on the trans trender phase. I don't think it's working because they're only selling 20,000 books, or should I say shipping. But for whatever reason, it seems to work here. It's an effective way to depower 2 very powerful characters, so grudging respect for the plot point. But let me quickly step all over that compliment. Notice Stan's soapbox passive-aggressive article about racism and bigotry. It's in every single magazine. I guess they really hate racism against Europeans and sexism against men, right? Because these principles apply to everyone. Of course not. Anyway, it's an effective way to depower 2 very powerful characters, so grudging respect for the plot point. Let me quickly step all over the compliment. The story falls flat because not only does the reader not care about Captain Marvel, speaking for myself, I actively don't like her. Maybe it's because the writer seems to have the other characters constantly affirm her. If you swapped her for a male version, the reader would pick up on it and wonder why everyone was blowing smoke up his back hole. But in Marvel Comics, pandering to female characters is expected. It would be weird if the writer didn't affirm them every other panel. And the other side of this woke coin is that they always put down the male character. I could make nothing but videos that showcase Marvel's hatred of men. Anyway, your boy already covered this, but Zach can be too nice. He has to be careful of what he says. He gets a lot of views, and he has insane NPCs listening to every word. But actually, now that he left Twitter, they have stopped stalking him. They moved on to Tug and Yellow Flash over that Kick Vic thing. Ending scene, you have a cat lady, a future cat lady. Well, I guess she's technically a cat lady, coughing into her bloody napkin. We can only hope it's fatal. How does a superhero get sick? I'm sure it's going to be something interesting. I mean, it sort of has my interest already to see how they resolved it, because it's like Superman getting sick, right? It's is that a woman? Why are these covers so bizarrely bad? It said next issue artist Carmen Canero returns for a brand new arc. Okay, you're replacing a bad artist with kind of a wonky artist. This reminds me of the first cover, which wasn't very good either. Or I should say, it might have been good, but it made the character look like a man. Why are they? What's going on here? What's going on with Captain Marvel? What are you going to say? What are you going to reveal about Captain Marvel? How deep down this transgender rabbit hole are you willing to go? Anyway, subscribe if you're not already subscribed, and leave a like and a comment. Thanks.